Welcome to the Hey Docs podcast with your host, Jill Allen. Today, we are diving into something every orthodontist wants more of: online visibility and high quality patients, with Kayvan Mott from the DocSites. From SEO to social proof and websites to Google Ads, we're unpacking what actually is working in digital marketing right now and what might be costing your practice more than you realize. Whether you're starting out or looking to level up, this episode is packed with insights you can put into action. So let's dive in. This episode was brought to you by Gray Finch. Hey docs, if you want to have a great business, the right practice management software is essential. But some can be slow, outdated, and lacking good support. That's why I recommend Gray Finch to all orthodontists. It's the fastest, most reliable, and most secure platform to grow your business and improve your efficiency. It's completely web-based, so you can run your entire practice anywhere and from any device with no servers, no downloads, or hidden fees. They even have the most helpful and responsive support team around. Right now, Gray Finch is giving a $500 discount to our listeners. Visit grayfinch.com/Jill Allen to learn more and see why it's one of the fastest growing providers in America. All right, Kayvan, I am so excited to have you on Hey Docs. Thanks for being here today.
Jill, my pleasure. Really excited to be here.
Yes, it is. I've been looking forward to doing this podcast with you. And one of the ways I like to start out here on Hey Docs is just to have you give us a little bit of background on yourself, about the company, and what led you into marketing and working with orthodontic and dental practices.
Yeah, my name is Kayvan Mott. I'm a co-founder of the DocSites. So it's been close to 17 years that we've been serving dentists and orthodontists. We do websites, SEO, and online ads. We work with lots of orthodontists, and really our start was in 2008. We started an agency. Our first client was a dentist, and his wife was an orthodontist. So we started helping him fill up in his chairs in a really tough time, and he was a startup, and his wife took notice. So we started helping her ortho practice with websites and SEO and getting them visible. And you all know the ortho space is a very small knit community. So everyone started referring us, and really that's how DocSites was born. And a couple of things people know us about is our affordable pricing. We're very transparent and just really great customer service. So little background of who we are.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it says something to say how long you guys have been in this industry, because as you and I both know, we see kind of companies come and go,
Yeah.
come and go. So it's always good to know that you've made the test of time and are here and have got a track record to back you guys up and what you're doing. So one of the things that I was super excited to be talking to you about was just marketing in general and what is going on out there right now in our industry. Sometimes I feel like, depending upon who you're listening to, it's going to be all into this or all into that or whatnot. And I'm wondering if you can just start off with just talking to us a little bit about maybe some of the mistakes that you are seeing orthodontists making when it comes to marketing, maybe just identifying some of those.
Yes. And to give it some context, where we specialize is online marketing. And as you and I know, there's totally all kinds of marketing, right? You could go to the GP, you could be in the community. So we're talking about online marketing. And specifically, the number one mistake I see orthodontists make with their online marketing is they have a set it and forget it mentality.
Yes.
Not they have any bad intentions, but sometimes practice owners, they get busy. And when they get busy, the marketing gets put on the back burner. So they're not really paying attention to who's answering the calls. Are those calls being converted? Or a lot of times you might be overpaying for your marketing or not really getting results. And again, because you're busy, you have a set it and forget it mentality. You're treating your marketing like insurance. You're just paying it every month and not really looking at it. And that's not an effective way to lead. And we've realized that the orthodontists who are more proactive tend to be more successful when it comes to be with their marketing.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and I could not agree with you more. And I love your analogy of thinking about it like insurance, because I would agree with you. I see it all the time in doctors that I work with, where if I'm working with an established practice, a lot of times it's, are you looking at your analytics? Are you talking about these things with your company or whatnot? And it's like a deer in the headlights. Nope. No, I just pay the bill and I hope for the best is where I see it at. And I'm curious if you can talk to us about when you say they need to be paying attention. Can you expand on that? What do you think
Yes,
doctors
great,
need to be doing?
great question. So I think where I see the most disconnect is that a lot of practices don't know what they're paying or what they're getting. That's a
Mm-hmm.
great place to start. What are you actually paying and what are you getting every month in terms of deliverables? Is it this
Mm-hmm.
many posts? Are they doing that? Are they updating your Google profile? That's a good place to start. Probably more important than that is to have some internal tracking. And the keyword is internal because any marketing company can send you a dashboard or report, right? That says this
Yep.
or that. But if your appointment chairs are empty, do you really care that much? That's the whole
Mm-hmm.
point. So when you do internal tracking, that means you really know where patients are coming from. So I'm sure a lot of your listeners are already doing this because they're hearing it from you and you're an expert in this. But if not, I just want to reiterate the importance of internally tracking, meaning is that front desk picking up the phone and say, "Hi, welcome to Orthodontics. How did you hear about us?"
Mm-hmm.
Because if
Mm-hmm.
not, how do you know how they heard about
Yep.
you? So if
Yep.
you're tracking that, and especially on your new patient forms where they say, "How did you hear about us?" That's when you're going to have the biggest clarity of you're either going down the path of, hey, our new patient numbers are growing and more people are saying they're coming from Google, website, internet, online, or you're going to know they're stagnating and one's coming from current patients. So is
Right.
marketing is not effective. So I think that's a great question and a great place for practice owners to start before they consider switching companies or they want to assess how well their marketing is working.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's great insight. And that kind of leads me into when you're thinking about, and I know you're speaking a little bit more to those online social ads and whatnot, but I'm curious what your take, being a marketing company that does websites, how important you think a website is. And some of the top, we all know websites are important, so that's not my question. What are some of the top reasons a patient might be losing patients because maybe their website is not up to date or is not doing what it needs to from a marketing perspective?
Yes, great question because not all websites are equal. And I give the analogy of it's like you're walking down Main Street and you're like, where should we eat dinner with your husband or wife, honey? And you're peeking into like the restaurant. If some place gives you a good vibe and it looks like what you're looking for, whatever that is, you're going to be like, let's go in there. So that's the idea. And really, the core behind it is you want to use your website, we believe here at DocSites, to build trust, not just display information. So some of the reasons why people lose patients online to their website are the following. Number one, they're not showcasing reviews or testimonials. So as we know, a lot of people choose their provider based on that. So if you have maybe dozens or hundreds of reviews, but you're not showcasing any of those on your website, that's a big mistake. Could be
Yeah.
costing you patients. Another one is just really about convenience. Think about how many of us out there, if I was to say, hey, Jill, let's buy this product for the office or at home, where's the first place we think to go buy somewhere? Amazon,
Yep. Yep.
because they made it convenient, right? It's just a click.
Mhm.
So one reason you might be losing patients is you don't have a click to call on your mobile website, or you don't have a
Mhm.
single click where someone can make an appointment. And that might sound simple, but I'm telling you, people are busy out there.
Yes. Yes.
So if they have to dig and click open versus if your mobile website just with a click of a button, they can make an appointment, you might be losing that patient. Another opportunity where I see people missing is before and afters. And if you don't have before and afters, you're losing an opportunity. I'll give you a real story. I was at a family dinner and my cousin's wife She has multiple kids, came up to me. She's like, hey, Mom, I got to talk to you. And I'm like, yeah, what's going on? I know you're in the dental industry, so I have to talk to you. I'm like, okay, what is it? Like, okay, so I took my kid to orthodontist and it was referred by my GP and she has great reviews, but I don't think I want to work with her. I was like, why? She came referred. She has great reviews. What's the problem? She doesn't have before and afters on her website. I said, really?
Interesting.
She's like, yeah, I don't know what kind of quality my kid's going to get. I want to see it. So she ended up not going with that orthodontist, even though she was referred and had great reviews. So not everyone's like this, but there are people out there. And if you want to stand out amongst competition, I would highly recommend having that because not every orthodontist in your area or community does. So that's a great way
I love
for you to
that.
stand out. And lastly, and I think we all know this, is nix the cookie cutter website photos. People kind of want to get an idea of what they're walking into. So that might be as simple as hiring a local photographer, videographer to come and take photos. If you'd like to reach out to us at DocSites, we actually have a shot list of photos that help build trust on your
That's
website.
great. Yeah.
So if you're thinking, I got a local photographer, but I'm not sure if they have ortho experience, we can help you out. And I think those are some of the great ways to build more trust, easy little wins that you could take to make a difference on your website.
Yeah, I think all of those points are so relevant and such good points. And I think that's a really easy assessment for anybody who's listening. If you're thinking about your website and is it time for me to redo my website? Is it time for me to update? Is my website, like you said, potentially losing me patients? And I hate to say it, but I do see it a lot where especially more established practices don't have those widgets, don't have those tools that really help patients get into the system more quickly. And I really do think many times that is the reason why they lose out or lose them to potentially newer docs coming in the area or whatnot that are just know to embrace that maybe that technology a little bit more.
Absolutely. And I'm sure we'll talk about this, but reviews are also a big thing and how much the team plays into that to help get more visibility online and build trust.
Yeah. And actually, that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask you about, because I think that does play such a key role into our websites and our practice presence and whatnot. And so I am curious to hear what you think about reviews and testimonies or I should say testimonials, and just how you think that kind of that social proofing can really build that trust online for doctors, and maybe even where it's going in technology right now, where AI might even be looking for trust in websites and whatnot. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I want to just reiterate how important it is. Social proof. When we say social proof, that's just another way of saying, do you have reviews online that people could see? And when you have more reviews, you get more visibility and you build more trust faster. For example, let's just say I put orthodontists near me, right? And one practice has 1,000 reviews, but they're number 4, and the other have 200, 300. I'm probably going to call the place with 1,000 reviews. A lot of people are, right? Why?
Yep.
It's the fastest way to trust.
Right.
Now, with that said, I'm curious to hear from you, Jill. What have you seen internally that maybe some practices do well where others don't in terms of asking for reviews? Because I feel like that's the core bottleneck of, are they doing a good job? Or I'm very curious to hear your take.
And this is a tough one. And I don't even think I've got a great answer for it, because I think probably one of the hardest things is, especially if we don't have a super outgoing doctor or a super outgoing team members, I think it can be very difficult to put yourself out there to ask for that review or whatnot. And I think one of the things that we try and work on is helping doctors and team members identify moments within their practice where they're like, oh, somebody just said something really great about us. That should be oh, hey, would you mind taking out your phone and just giving us a Google review here? I'll help get you right onto our site. In the moment, being able to move them through that. But also, I think Sometimes third-party tools can help with that, whether it is having it set up when a patient has had certain appointments within their treatment cadence that should trigger a good feel good component to it, where then they will give reviews. Unfortunately for me, I don't think that there is a one stop, one type, this fits every practice. You really have to determine for your practice how it's going to work. And depending upon the doctor's personality and the teams, it's something that you're going to always have to work on and towards.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, what do you think?
I agree with you the same, because there is no one way, and it's really whatever is effective for you. And if you're out there and you run an ortho practice, here's a quick way to see, is it effective or not. Just look at your reviews, Google reviews, and see how many you've gotten in, let's say, 1 month in the last, and then compare that to how many patients walked into your door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can just assess. And again, it's not here to be wrong or right. I think it's good feedback as a practice owner of, is just effective or not. One of the ways I've heard from a lot of practice owners that's really successful is, yes, the QR codes are great. Yes, the text and email reminders are great. But more importantly is getting the team engaged. Because a lot of the times it might be the team members who might have a more relationship, or they feel more comfortable than the dentist themselves. So sometimes they will actually give incentives, some practice owners, to the team. It says, hey team, you guys are doing amazing. Okay, we're playing a game. We all know reviews are important. For every 10 5-star reviews, everyone gets a $50 gift certificate.
Yep.
Or $100 cash or something like that, that they get excited. Now, what I like about that is the team is giving better service. I'm going to pick up the phone a little nicer. Back office is going to hurry a little faster, and they all give better service. Why? Because they want to get the review. They want to get the incentives. Those are just some ways, no wrong, no. And as we all know, the more reviews you get, the more visibility you do get.
Yeah.
To answer your other question about AI and reviews and ChatGPT and where it's going. So I've done a little digging, and I've actually asked, okay, show me the best orthodontics or clear aligner specialist near me, and it brings up certain results. And then I will say, like, why did you show me these results? And the thing that keeps coming up is reviews. Now, here's the thing. Currently, at the stage right now, ChatGPT cannot read Google reviews. It doesn't have a direct link, but it reads the website and website reviews. So if you can embed those reviews on your website, it actually will pull it in. Also, if you add things like, I'm accredited by this organization, or I'm an Invisalign Platinum provider, and you have images and text, ChatGPT will pull that in and weigh that as a factor. So definitely take your reviews and put them on your website, because that's where we're headed.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting to just see how AI is really even affecting the algorithms and you can definitely speak more to this than me. This is just Jill's assumption here. But when we look back and we would think, oh, we're building websites around SEO and we're building around keywords and this, that, and the other. And it's just so interesting as we have really seen AI come in just in our world in general, but then into our ortho or dental spaces. And for you to say that AI is now, really driving what it's seeing. And we even have to think about it from, it's not just about that SEO. We had that keyword that got us to where, but now we have to think about it's thinking in phrases. It's looking for that trust factor or that credibility factor in the things that we may not have thought were such a big deal to put onto our website, because it's, oh, I've got it on my Google business page. I don't need it on my website. And really how it is now becoming, everything is very intertwined, and you really do have to be so it'll be interesting to see where we're at even 5 years from now in what is driving how traffic gets onto our websites, gets onto our social sites, gets onto our Google business page.
It really is. It's fascinating.
So I'm curious about thinking about that. And with Google being, I think for the most part, our king of search engines, right? It's leading the charge out there. Let's talk about that from the changes that we're seeing, and for a company that, really specializes in this, what are you seeing or advising maybe clients to do that may be different that was in the past to what it looks like for the future in regard to a good SEO approach for their website, for Google Ads, just all of those pieces in regard to how they're going to be attracting patients into their practice?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So there's a lot of companies out there in SEO. And if you're not familiar what that is, stands for search engine optimization. And the idea is if someone Googles you, are they finding your practice or your competitor? Now, we're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about ads. Ads are where they say sponsored. We're talking about organically, and that's where you want to be
Yep.
because that's where the quality and the consistency of those new patients are really high. So for us and in general, what we've seen is there's a couple core things that you want to focus on, especially as we're seeing 2025 and beyond. Number one is you want to make sure the website is properly optimized as a foundation. For example, let's say you provide orthodontics and clear aligners and different things. If you only have a page that just says braces and orthodontics, you're at a disadvantage. Whereas as a foundation, you want to make sure you have a page for orthodontics near me, optimized for your city, braces near me, Invisalign. Some practices will even say Invisalign for teens, emergency orthodontics. Why is that? Because that's where users are going. That's how people are
Interesting.
searching. If I know I want Invisalign, I'm not searching for dentists near me.
Yep. Yep.
I will put Invisalign near me or specialist. So just foundationally on the website, you want to make sure that's intact because that's how people are searching nowadays.
Yeah.
Second is the Google My Business profile is becoming more and more important. So for people who don't know what that is, when you Google a business or a restaurant on the right-hand side, right, the photo comes up with the reviews and the address. That's your Google My Business profile. So that is what shows up a lot of times when you're looking for orthodontists or clear
Mm-hmm.
aligners, right? And that's where you want to be organically. So the more your marketing company focuses on that, they update that. And I'm not expecting every dentist to know exactly what it is, but I think if you just have your marketing company make sure, what are you doing here? How are we focusing
Yeah.
on that Google My Business profile? Because that's becoming more and more important. And Google is actually placing more and more emphasis there. And then just the last thing I'll say is it seems like there's less emphasis on things that we never did. Some companies did, of like link backs and just buy a bunch of links that drive people back to your website. Google's really caught up to that, and that's never really been that effective, but now definitely it's not that effective. So don't think, and again, it's common sense, right? If you just have your website on a bunch of random directories like Frog Help and I don't know what else that you've never heard
Yep.
of,
Yep.
it's not going to help your practice. You're better off having a quality link from your, let's say, Chamber of Commerce that clicks back to your website versus 100 junk,
Sure.
links.
Sure. Because I would think that quality links are giving you authority and trust
Yeah.
in that link click, which is what I think Google is looking for when it's out there searching through everything versus, like you said, and again, it's just how we've evolved, right? It used to be you want to be everywhere. You want to have your name on everything because that's just the way it is. And we just continue to as things move forward. So I love that you said that. And I think it's just really interesting how important it is, and as if being a business owner isn't hard enough, and staying abreast of all of these different things that are
Yeah.
out there, like there isn't enough to be focusing on it. But I cannot tell you how many times I talk to doctors, just something as simple as that Google business page. And Google business page didn't start off being a big deal. Like it was the
No.
afterthought of
Yeah.
what you set up. And now, I would encourage any, especially my younger doctors, like it starts with your Google business page that has to be running tandem with your website. Your social channels have to be hooked into it. And I think, Kayvan, what you said is really important is you have got to be updating that. There's a lot of places where you can log in and put photos and put relevant tools. And you got to remember that whatever is out there, whatever you want to say, I heard somebody say search everywhere optimization, like whatever is happening out there that's searching, it's grabbing everything to pull together to find out about your business and to put together, are you going to rank with authority? Are you going to rank with trust? Are you going to? So I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's like these things working together, well together, including updates to the website. So that's why we believe blogging is important, because if you're adding information to your website that's relevant, Google's going to place you higher. Like, what is Google in many ways? People ask a question and it gives the answer. So if your marketing company is writing blogs that people are searching for, braces near me or Invisalign treatment with San Antonio or whatever your city is, you're going to have a higher chance of showing up versus if your marketing company is writing Happy Cupcake Day. It's cute.
Yes.
I love cupcakes, but no one's looking for orthodontists or a clear aligners provider or anything like that on Google searching those terms.
Yeah, that's great. And now a word from the sponsors who make this podcast possible. Hey docs, let's talk about Smile Suite, because it's not just another scheduling system. It's a game changer in the world of new patient management. And as a proud Smile Suite partner, I've witnessed the incredible impact it has on practices of all sizes. Smile Suite means your new patient calls and web leads are expertly handled 7 days a week, even during nights and weekends. And they offer top-notch customizable presentation software and seamless post-consultation follow-up. It's like having a secret weapon for your practice's success. Curious? Dive into the revolution at GetSmileSuite.com. And don't forget to mention Hey Docs to unlock some extra goodies. Elevate your practice with Smile Suite, because every smile deserves a suite of excellence. So let's talk just a little bit about Google Ads. And what do you see? Because I feel like there's starting to be, this is where you need to be, this is where you don't need to be. Things are moving away from it. Things are still moving towards it. Where do you guys stand on this? What do you think?
Just some context, different companies believe different things. I would say if you actually talk to practice owners who are doing Google Ads and they're honest with you, let's talk about quality of patients first, okay?
Yep.
So quality referrals, number one. If someone comes referred to you, that's usually number one. Yep. Some variation of that, whether it's a friend, it's another doctor, referrals, that's quality patient. Second, typically, you'll find organic online, meaning, I don't know about you, but if I look for any doctor, any service on Google, I skip the ads. Yep. I know they're ads.
Yep.
I go to the organic, right? Most people do. So the organic results, if you're getting patients from there, or if you're a practice out there who has a lot of Google reviews and people are like, I saw your Google reviews, that's why I'm here. That's what would be under organic. That's like the second tier of quality patients. Below that are then what you have are like ads. And these could be Facebook ads. This could be Instagram ads. These could be Google ads. It's great. They have their part. They're just lower tier quality patients. So that's just the context, because some people might think, oh, if I just crank up ads, people will line up. They can, but your front desk has to chase them more. They might not show up to the appointment, just things like that. Now, with that said, some of the biggest mistakes that I see practices make with ads is they're not ready to do ads, and then they do ads. So here's a sign that you're not ready to do ads. Your front desk has not been trained, and they're not skilled at converting that patient call to appointment.
Yeah.
Or maybe they are trained, but they literally are not organized and they have no system, and she has 3 jobs and she's got to collect this and she's got to be on that phone, and she forgets to call people back. Or you try just one time calling and that's it. Guess what? You just lost money down the drain. So if you're putting all this money into ads, but you don't have a killer front desk or whoever, it could be an answering service, guys coming out with things, right, to make appointments, You need to solve that problem because otherwise you have holes in the bucket and money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that you're saying that. And I think it's great that you pointed out that, because I do see this a lot where I will have docs come to me and they're like, Jill, I'm not getting anywhere with my marketing and we're spending all this money, and they're really unhappy maybe with the marketing company. But honestly, when we many times take it back, yes, there's the quality of patient. We get that we just got to deal with that. I always say be cautiously optimistic with those patients that they're going to show up and that they're going to start. So we got like a 50-50 chance there.
Yeah.
For the ones that are the 50-50 on the 50 that do make it in, if you don't have the right infrastructure, like you just said, set up, your TC isn't ready to convert, your front desk doesn't see the importance of getting back to that lead, however it came into your practice. And I think many times, to your point, before anybody invests, the knee-jerk reaction is, I need patients, so I'm going to jump out and spend a lot of money. But if you haven't arrested the problem of, my team can't even answer the online responses that are coming in, or answer my phone in less than 3 rings, or return a phone call before 2 days later, you're, to your point, wasting your money. Get that infrastructure in place first. Make sure your team is dialed in and ready to go. So when you do pull the trigger and you spend that money, you can really recognize the true ROI on it, because you know that everything else is in place. And now you really are just looking for quality of patients and being able to say, okay, I spent this much and I can recognize that I was able to get X amount of patients in, which turned into this dollar amount in starts or whatnot.
Exactly. And let's say you get to that place. Hey, my front desk's good. They're great. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, like, how do I take my Google Ads to the next level or do well? Couple basic things that you want to focus on. One, budget. So when we're doing orthodontics, Invisalign, a lot of times they're more expensive than just say like dentist, the term. So the budget's a little bit higher. Now there's companies out there who are like, you spend tons of money and you're going to get patients. Nothing wrong with that, right? I'm sure some of them are successful. At DocSites, our approach is, we've always been a little bit more conservative in the sense, like, make your website great, make sure the foundation's great, show up organically, do those things, get the reviews. And now Google Ads is an addition to it. We'll typically recommend budget of at least the minimum, say $1,500 or $2,000 a month in that local area per practice. Other than the budget, you want to just make sure that the ads are bringing people to something that will essentially enroll them to say
yes.
That landing page, you want to enroll them to say, that's my practice. So imagine, put yourself in the shoes of the patient. You click one ad, it takes you to a place, Happy Smile Orthodontics. It's okay, information, we do orthodontics, we do braces, a stock photo. Okay, back. You click the other one, Jill Allen Orthodontics. It's a video of Jill saying, hey, welcome to our practice. Let me tell you how we take care of braces. She has before and afters. You're already enrolled. Like, this looks great. Then she shows you reviews and you're already sold. And then she's showing you an offer. Come get a consultation with a clear call to action. It costs both the first one and the second one the same dollar amount, $5 or $10, but one's going to convert a lot more because you're showing things that build trust on that landing page. I think sometimes there's a good opportunity there to, again, showcase videos, photos, offers, financing, if that's important to you. So it helps enroll that patient to say, yes, let's make an appointment.
Yeah, I love that. And I think that this is an area we don't talk a lot about, or people may not even understand the difference between a landing page and a website. Would you mind just indulging me and just taking us on a little rabbit trail to just explain? Because I think this is new.
Yeah.
It's not new. Landing pages have always been there, but I think that we are seeing within the marketing realm that there's a lot of drive that can happen with focusing on landing pages.
Yes.
So would you mind talking about that a little bit?
I'll give a great analogy. Your website is the building and the landing page is what floor it stops at.
Oh, that's great.
So you just want to make sure that if they're clicking the ad and it's talking about Invisalign and braces, right? Stop that when they click that, it takes them to a floor, so to speak, or a page on the website where it's just about Invisalign and braces and how you're great at that. You don't want them to just drop them off in front of the building where they're looking up and they're like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. I'm looking at every provider, at every service, at everything. Like, I just wanted braces.
Yep.
So that's the importance, because then you get a higher conversion when you, like I said, take them to a dedicated landing page that matches whatever your ad was promoting.
I love that. And again, I think this is just an area that is not being talked a lot about. And I do believe that we're going to see more and more of this in marketing companies and companies like yours that have really got this. I don't want to say it's a secret sauce, but I do think for our industry in orthodontics, we have not really had a lot of companies that are focusing on this, and that I want to say direct to consumer, but we're directing them right to where they need to be to make
Yeah.
the decision to say, yeah, I'm already here. Let me just put my name on this site and move right on into making a decision versus having to maybe get lost on the website, scrolling all the way around and
Yeah.
reading everything. And then now they've lost interest and they've hopped off and they never even made it to the final last page of the website. Would you like to schedule an appointment?
Yeah.
I know many companies out there promise results and give lots of hope to doctors, and I think a lot of them are able to deliver it. But what do you think that doctors should be looking for when they are looking at taking that investment to actually partner with a company like yours, that is more of an expert in the area than them just saying, I tried this DIY, but I think I need help now? What are you thinking docs should be thinking about or looking at when they're making those decisions?
Yeah, great question. If you're looking to choose a marketing company to help your ortho practice, here's a few questions to ask. The first one is to ask yourself and your team, how are we doing? How many leads come, how many patients, and what's the source? Just so you have a baseline of how things are going, because then if you choose to work with this company, you will really know if you're doing better or not based on baseline. Second, some questions to ask the marketing company. Number one, how much experience, how many years experience do you have in the ortho space? And let them talk about it. And because ortho is different than just a GP, as we know. So there's problems that will come up if you hire your front desk daughter to build your website.
No, I don't believe that.
Or your husband, who's an IT person, who thinks, yeah, it's a website, but it's not. They have to understand the nuances of the ortho space, of optimizing and things of that sort. So make sure, secondly, are they ortho specific? Do they know the dental industry community? Third, I believe transparency is always great. So in basic language, can you understand what are you paying for and what are they actually doing every month? Should it be rocket science? They should give you some quantifiable number of this many blog posts, this many links, or whatever it is, so you have a clear idea. And then lastly, I always say, ask them, are you locked into a long-term contract? Just because some companies will do that and maybe you don't want to be. And then one other thing that's really important is ask and make sure that you own the website domain. So the website domain is your address, right? Let's say it's happysmilesortho.com. You want to make sure if you part ways with this company, do you still own that happysmilesortho.com, which is really important because that's where the SEO value lies.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, those are great points. And I think all things that a lot of people were probably scribbling down. Okay, that's good. That's good. And I totally agree with you, especially on that last point. Unfortunately, I've seen a lot of docs who have had websites designed and they don't own the website, or they don't own the domain. And that's a bummer when that happens and you have to start over, especially if you've been doing it for a while and now you need to make a change.
There's a lot of confusion or misconceptions here. The analogy I always give to everyone, which they seem to like, is think of like a piece of land and a house on it. Well, over time, that piece of real estate will get valuable. But it's not really the house that gets valuable, it's the land that it sits on.
Mhm.
So the website is the house. It could come up and down. You could take it down, put a new one, but that domain is the piece of land. You want
Yes.
to own that piece of land and make sure that you're putting a new website with whoever you work with on that same piece of land to keep the SEO value.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You're just full of great analogies today.
Analogies, yeah.
Yeah. Kayvan, this has been great. And there's so much more we could talk about. I'll just have to have you on another time and
I would
we'll
love to.
chat.
This
We'll
has been
chat then.
super fun.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, if they want to learn more about improving their online presence, maybe working with their website, they're just like, I'm ready for a fresh start. What's going to be the best way that they can get a hold of you or DocSites?
Yeah, so the best way would be to go to docsites.com. That's DocSites.com. You can request a complimentary online assessment. Make sure you mention Jill Allen and this podcast because we do have special pricing for you if you decide to work with us. So we'll include that in there. And we're very transparent. There won't be any hard sales. We just do a Zoom call that's personalized and focused on your practice and give you options and see if it's a good fit for us to work together.
Yeah. I think that's great. And I appreciate that you do that for anybody that reaches out after hearing about you guys from Hey Docs or from my team. But I think just for anybody listening, being able to just have an assessment, or if you're a new doc and you're like, I've been getting ready to have to deal with websites anyways, I always say meet with at least 3 or 4 different companies and really find out who you're going to want to have a relationship with for at least
Yeah.
the next couple years, because as Kayvan has been saying this whole time, not everybody is the same, and every marketing company will have a little different focus and different price points and all of that. And I think you can tell from this conversation today, it's great when you've got somebody that can just be clear and upfront and transparent about what you're going to get and what you're looking for. So thanks for just giving us some really good information today.
My pleasure. It's been a blast and really excited for this.
Yeah. The way I like to finish it up here on Hey Docs, I like to finish us up with a little speed round. Are you ready for a speed round challenge of questions?
Oh, wow. I didn't know this was coming. Yes, go for it.
Okay. I'll definitely put you on the spot. Okay. What is one daily habit or ritual that helps you stay productive?
Meditation as soon as I wake up.
Ah, that's great. I would go back to sleep. I've tried it and I can't do it first thing in the morning. What is your go-to strategy for getting unstuck when maybe you're facing a tough problem?
I will ask someone that I respect and admire what they think.
That's good. And then what is one business idea you have recently seen that you wish you had thought of?
Oh, that's a great question. A business idea. So I think we're headed this way with AI, and that's a
Mm.
big thing. I think this idea where AI can help people in their business, that's a very cool idea. I wish I had come up with something where there's AI answering services, there AI who could help with front desk. That would be something I think that would be valuable to a lot of people and save efficiencies. I'm like, wish I thought of that.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, man. I wish I was on the inside scoop to any of the AI stuff. That's great. Again, this has been an absolute pleasure having you on Hey Docs. Thank you for taking time and just giving us such good information. I look forward to having you on again.
Thank you so much, Jill. Again,
Thanks.
Kayvan Mott, DocSites. Feel free to reach out to us anytime.
Awesome. See you later. Bye.
Bye.